Good morning. My name is William Watkins, Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students, and it's my distinct honor to declare the opening of the California State University Northridge commencement ceremony for the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences. I ask that you all now please rise and remain standing while the CSUN Jazz A Band, under the direction of Professor Scott Whitfield, plays the national anthem, accompanied by vocalist Merced Stratton and performed in American Sign Language by students from CSUN's graduating class. Thank you, and please be seated. How about another cheer for our vocalist and our signers? Celebrating this occasion with us today and seated on the platform are members of the President's Extended Cabinet. Also, for the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences, we have Dean Yan Dominique Cersei, Special Assistant to the Dean Sylvia McCauley, and Department Chairs, Teresa White, Africana Studies, Suzanne Schell, Anthropology, Vicki Jensen, Criminology and Justice Studies, Ed Jackowitz, Geography, Susan Fitzpatrick Behrens for History, David Leash for Political Science, Eli Bartle for Social Work, Karen Morgaine for Sociology, and Rob Kemp for Urban Studies and Planning. In addition, Faculty President Mary Pat Stein, Associated Students President Beverly Ntagu, and CSUN alumnus Jackie Eckberg are also joining us as special guests on the platform. I ask that all the members of the platform party now rise and be recognized. Thank you. And now it's my great privilege to introduce to you our president, Dr. Diane Harrison.
Thank you, Vice President Watkins. Good morning, everyone. As president of this university, it is my distinct honor to welcome you to the 2019 California State University Northridge Commencement Ceremony for our 2018 and 2019 graduates of the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences. On behalf of the CSUN's distinguished faculty and staff, I congratulate the graduates being honored here today. You challenged yourselves to hone your creativity, to develop a sense of teamwork, to solve complex problems and become a critical thinker. I know the path to this day wasn't always easy. Long days and late nights became routine for you, but you expanded your worldview and built friendships with other matadors who shared your interests, your struggles, and your ambitions. And through it all, you've come, I hope, to love learning. Each of you made a commitment to educate yourself, and in advancing yourself through education, you will advance your families, your communities, and your chosen fields. As leaders, I encourage you to become true global citizens. Of course, you care about your home in Los Angeles, but you must also keep up with the rapidly changing world. This means you, more than any other graduating class so far, must become lifelong learners. Nelson Mandela spoke the truth when he said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." I hope that you carry on as leaders of your communities and fields. You will continue to educate yourself, not just develop the necessary skills for economic success, but to sharpen your understanding of and relevance in this evolving world. You will be in careers in your life that do not even exist yet. You will be our trailblazers. We depend on you to create, to innovate, and to solve our global challenges, including immigration solutions, climate change, artificial and adaptive technologies, and yes, even world peace, and challenges that we don't even know today. We will depend on you. Whether you return to CSUN for another degree or a certificate program or attend another university, today's world is about continuous discovery and learning. We would like to help you with that and partner with you. Allow me now to thank our faculty and staff who share in the pride of your achievements. They play a significant role in supporting your success, and they are truly the heart of the university. Graduates, please know also that much of your experience at CSUN was shaped by the generosity of alumni who supported scholarships, enhanced programs, and improved facilities for your benefit. This year, it was tremendous to see more than 6,100 of you who are graduating proudly following their example by contributing to the senior class gift. Thank you very much for that. To all of the dedicated faculty and staff, and most importantly, to the parents and family members who have helped our graduates reach this tremendous achievement, today is your special day too. These students would never have made it without you. Families of our graduates, will you please stand now for a well-deserved round of applause from us. And now, please join me in congratulating our 2018-2019 graduates. I would now like to invite Quetzali Enrique, undergraduate student from the Department of Urban Studies, to address the graduating class and the guests of the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences.
Wow. Let me go this way. Hello and good morning, parents, family, friends, faculty, staff, and the class of 2019. Thank you all for being here today. I want to share with you something my dad would tell me growing up. If you don't have a seat at the table, you'll be on the menu. He told me this to help me realize how important it was to fight for an education and the right to have a seat in every classroom. As I stand before you today, I'm happy to see how each and every one of you fought to have a seat at this commencement and walk across this stage. Before I continue, I'd like to thank the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences for allowing me to speak today. The acronym for California State University Northridge is known to many as CSUN. And I must say, CSUN is definitely a place where the students shine as bright as the sun. My name is Quetzali Enrique, and I began my journey here at CSUN as a freshman 4 years ago. And I'm truly honored to speak on behalf of our graduating class. Receiving a college diploma is an accomplishment we should be proud of, but not satisfied by. Today, I would like to acknowledge the resiliency of all who stand here, despite the insurmountable obstacles of the past and the challenges we fought to get here. To start, I'd like to recognize the history of our beloved university. Our histories and the history of our university are important factors as to why we are here today. CSUN was once called Valley State College, and in 1968, the students fought for programs and resources to increase diversity. Yep. The tenacity of these students resulted in the Educational Opportunity Program, also known as EOP. And since then, CSUN has been a place where all students of all backgrounds have come to follow and manifest their dreams, including you and me. The generations before us fought for us to have a seat at this commencement, and now we all share the fortune of walking across this stage. This history is important and should be celebrated along with the individual paths we all took to get here. There have been moments where we all could have pressed quit, but instead we pressed continue. All of our journeys to get here have been different. Today, I'd like to honor the students who worked 2 jobs and went to class full-time. The students who paid their bills and their own tuition. The students who cared for their siblings and still completed their homework. The students who commuted hours. The students who faced homelessness. The students who faced food insecurity. The students who lost family or friends along the way. The students that kept their dreams alive even when they felt defeated. Today, we honor you. Each idiosyncrasy brought us to where we are. We cannot measure this accomplishment in the time it took to complete, the letter grades we received, the units we took each semester, or the sleepless nights, but only in our level of strength to continue. All of these experiences brought us to where we are now, and for that, we should be thankful. We have so many people to thank for being here today. Our mothers, our fathers, our siblings, the musical artists that we listen to for inspiration, and our teachers. Tlazokamati, Nimitzlasotla, Mama and Tata, and thank you to the Department of Urban Studies and Planning. I am so honored to graduate with all of you this year. They say you won't know how truly great this accomplishment will feel until the day finally comes. Graduates, the day is here. Before you leave today, there is one thing I want you all to remember. Remember to feel proud of your struggles. Be proud of your history. Be proud of the path that you took to get here, but above all, do not let it end here. Remember that there is so much more to learn. So seize your moment. Fight for your seat at the table. Congratulations, class of 2019! Thank you.
That's Ollie. Thank you. Very nice. Oh. Nope. Can't forget your phone. Thank you, Katsali, for your sentiments, and congratulations to you as well. Yes. The College of Social and Behavioral Sciences would like to give special recognition to those students who have demonstrated outstanding scholarship and other special achievements while at the university. These students may be identified by the honors medallions, the cords, and the sashes they are wearing. I ask those students who are graduating with academic and other special honors to please rise and receive our applause. Thank you, and please be seated. At this time, I would like to invite Jan Dominic Cersey, Dean of the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences, to the podium to highlight 3 students who are deserving of additional recognition and who serve as examples of the excellence and extraordinary achievement that can be found among CSUN's accomplished student body.
Thank you, Dr. Harrison. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Just one more time. To the back, to the left, to the right. Good morning, everybody. Excellent. It is my great pleasure to present to you today 3 extraordinary students who deserve additional recognition. Students, please rise when I call your name and stay standing while I speak briefly about your accomplishments. Brashawn Powell. Brashawn was born and raised in Los Angeles and has known she wanted to go into the criminal justice field since watching Judge Judy as a little girl with her grandmother. She has dreamed of becoming an attorney since she was 10 years old. After graduation, she plans to further her education in law school to obtain a Juris Doctorate degree to become a prosecutor. She says being a Criminology and Justice Studies major exposed her to information that has made her passion for fairness and justice grow even stronger. During her time here at CSUN, Brashawn spent 4 semesters on the debate team, 2 semesters as secretary for the Criminology and Justice Club, participated in the judicial internship, and interned at the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office, all while maintaining a 3.96 GPA and being on the Dean's List all 4 years. Brashawn says completing her academic career here at Cal State Northridge has been a blessing because she has been able to meet some great people. She's made fantastic connections and has been taught by very knowledgeable professors. She believes everything happens for a reason, and she was exactly where she was supposed to be to get to where she's supposed to go. Brashawn, congratulations. O'Shea Rogers. Though born and raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico, when O'Shea Rogers moved to the Valley and visited CSUN, he knew that this was home. The amount of growth and success he has experienced as an undergraduate at this institution, he says, is irreplaceable. At CSUN, O'Shea has deepened his love for history by taking various classes that expanded his knowledge beyond measure. He also developed personally as his classes in Africana Studies and his interactions with students helped shape his identity. In the best way imaginable, O'Shea will never be the same. With an exemplary GPA of 3.87, O'Shea has been on the Dean's List every semester during his 4 years here at CSUN. He was recipient of the 2017 CSU Trustees Award, and today he graduates with honors. Throughout his time here, O'Shea has worked as a writing tutor in the Chicana Writing Center and assisted history professors with grading and was one of this year's university scholars. All the while, O'Shea has developed great relationships with various professors who have mentored him, which he says he could not be more grateful. In the fall, O'Shea plans to attend UCLA, where he will be studying for his master's in education and his teaching credential. As an aspiring educator, historian, and author, O'Shea hopes he will continue to make his fellow Matadors proud. Congratulations, O'Shea. Caitlin Choi. All right. Wait a second. I don't see Caitlin. Where is she? Oh, hey, Caitlin. All right. At CSUN, Caitlin discovered a new profound passion for academics through various courses and professors who have inspired her to examine and understand the world in a new perspective. With the knowledge and experiences she has acquired from her 4 years at Cal State Northridge, she is leaving us as a more self-assured, driven, and courageous woman. She has a deep appreciation for every moment she has spent at this institution that has provided her with an abundance of educational, financial, and social support. Academically, Caitlin has thrived since she first arrived at CSUN 4 years ago. As a sociology major, she has achieved Dean's List status every semester and is graduating today with a 3.93 GPA. She credits a large part of her academic success to supportive and encouraging professors who were instrumental in her accomplishments. As part of her objective to assist other students with their academic success, particularly students of color, she has been actively involved in the Du Bois-Hamer Institute for Academic Achievement. Because of the success she has had at CSUN, she believes it is important to pay it forward by contributing to the success of other students coming up behind her. Ultimately, Caitlin hopes to pursue a career in human resources. Though she may be leaving CSUN for now, it is only to gain some work experience because she plans to return as a Matador in the near future to pursue her MBA. Caitlin, congratulations.
Thank you. Let me remind all of us that every single one of our graduates here today, whether you're an honors student, a Matador's Rising Scholar, those who are graduating regardless of how long it took you to get here today, or what your GPA is or was, you're all graduating, and you're all winners. Congratulations. You have achieved a life-altering milestone. Your families are proud, we are proud, and you should be very proud of yourselves. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce Dr. Stella Theodoulou, our interim provost, who will now present the candidates for the master's degrees.
President Harrison, there are 5 disciplines represented by the graduates in this ceremony today. They are from the Departments of History, Political Science, Social Work, Sociology, Urban Studies, and Planning. I ask that all the candidates for the master's degree from the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences please rise and remain standing. President Harrison, I have the distinct honor of presenting to you the graduate class of 2019. These candidates have completed the requirements for the master's degree as prescribed by the state of California and the trustees of the California State University. And they have been recommended by the faculty of California State University, Northridge. Candidates, please continue standing as President Harrison confers the master's degree upon you. And personally, congratulations.
Thank you. Upon the recommendation of the faculty of California State University, Northridge, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts in History, Master of Arts in Political Science, Master of Social Work, Master of Sociology, and the Master of Urban Planning, with all of the rights, honors, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations. And please be seated. At this time, I will ask Dean Searcy to now present the candidates for the baccalaureate degree.
There are 7 disciplines represented by the graduates in this ceremony today, and they are from the Departments of Africana Studies, Criminology and Justice Studies, History, Political Science. You got some more. Political Science, Public Sector Management, Sociology, Urban Studies and Planning. I ask that all the candidates for the baccalaureate degree from the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences please rise and remain standing. President Harrison, I have the honor, the distinct, that's please rise, stand up, come out of your seats. President Harrison, I have the honor of presenting to you the undergraduate class of 2019. These candidates have completed the requirements for the baccalaureate degree as prescribed by the state of California and the trustees of the California State University, and they have been recommended for their degrees by the faculty of California State University, Northridge.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of California State University, Northridge, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Africana Studies, Bachelor of Arts in Criminology and Justice Studies, Bachelor of Arts in History, Bachelor of Arts in Political Science, Bachelor of Arts in Public Sector Management, Bachelor of Arts in Sociology, and the Bachelor of Arts in Urban Studies and Planning, with all of the rights, the honors, and opportunities pertaining thereto. Congratulations, and please be seated.
Members of the platform party and the department chairs will now offer congratulations to our degree recipients. I ask that the degree recipients please move to the platform as directed by the marshals. Please come forward as your name is read. You will be congratulated by a member of the platform party and receive your diploma cover and certificate. Afterwards, please return to your seats as directed by the marshals, commencement staff, and ushers. Guests, I ask that you help so that we can proceed in a very orderly manner. We remind you that the aisles must be kept open and you are asked to stay in your seats until the end of the ceremony. I know you think that refers to somebody else, but that means you. Out of respect for our graduates and the safety of our guests, noisemakers are not permitted. Finally, and again, out of respect for your fellow graduates, all graduates, we ask that you remain throughout the entire ceremony until all degree recipients have been recognized.
Now reading names for the Department of African Studies.
Devin Williams, Zoe Williams, Autumn Huff, Courtney Barber,
Stephen Workman,
Marcus Nemhard,
Raven Colmore, Maury Stewart, Imani Fullwilder.
Now reading names for the Department of Criminology and Justice Studies.
Daniel Fuentes, Dennis Tran,
Priscilla Trejo, Jeremy Sanchez, Shane Williams,
Sabina Martinez, Kimberly Valdez, Megan Perez, Amanuhi Papazian,
Roni Perez,
Luis Hernandez,
Bryce Parker, Hector Rivera,
Cesar Para,
Alexandra Monique Ramos,
Tyler Williamson,
Bailey Stock,
Monica Viramontes,
Veronica Diaz,
Bianca Sanchez, Javier Zarazua,
Alex Escobar, Eric Perez, Evelyn Hernandez,
Alexander Hackenberg,
Jeremiah Dixon,
Christopher Duran, Michael Samidian, Angel Santana, Giovanni Cruz,
Genesis Giovanna Galvez, Jael Cartagena, Joyce Rojas,
Blanca Villa,
Caleb Watley,
Christina Nosharian,
Brian Uraga,
Olinka Palatua Gamage,
Ciamara Montes,
Nesli Ruiz,
Stefani Sanchez, Hema Martin, Olga Alcan,
Kenya Cervellian, Claudia Stanziola,
Alik Markarian, Maisha Kristen Taylor, Marielle Myers Farmer,
Andrea Wattham,
Grace Scott, Cindy Enriquez, Jasmine Morales,
Denise Diaz, Destiny Munoz, Belen Cervantes, Brett Larson,
David Fermin, Emily James,
Tyler Riggs,
Brittany Patino,
Sarah Mendez,
Christopher Rosales, Scott Blass,
Amy Galvan Sanchez, Alicia Arellano,
Nino Linayo, Christopher Gill, Rafael Guerrero,
Felix Mooney Gomez, Juan Jimenez Vivian,
Alexis Snyder,
Arthur Gonzalez, Nestor Saravia, Jose Cano,
Brian Jimenez,
Anthony Blanco,
Michael Luna,
Nelson Artiaga,
Matthew Santos, Christina Moreno, Jasmine Barrios,
Gerardo Barrios, Nicholas Lopez, Guillermo Garcia, Heather Tortorice, Natalina Bassi, Christina Popova,
Adela Lara, Miguel Menjivar,
Cristina Lopez, Raven Mays, Troy Cherico,
Manuel Lopez, Rafael Contreras, Camila Rebelo Iglesias, Ixa Nees, Angelica Bello,
Mariela Morales, Megan Reeves Rojas, Shannon Orantes,
Carmen De Leon, Aurora Sanchez, Sonia Hernandez,
Barbara Rodriguez, Iba Ada, Gabriel Makanange, Afra Asvar,
Anginia Vartumian, Brittany Sewell,
Judith Lopez, Diana Arzate Gayoso, Claudia Avila, Diana Castillo, Kaylee Fandino,
Catherine Johnson,
Marion Romero,
Jasmine Palacios, Melissa Gonzalez,
Rachel Kohlmeyer,
Claudia Ramirez, Victor Cabrera,
Candice Leslie, Victoria Medina,
Natalie Saturian, Madison Medrano,
Brisham Powell,
Noemi Castillo Mansabias,
Anna Govea Torres,
Shayla Fuentes Villada, Jennifer Avila,
Esther Almaguer,
Teliana Pelikai,
Christopher Valencia,
Randolph Merana, Eduardo Torres, Javier Vera,
Caitlin Hughes, Yanine Ortega,
Stephanie De La Rosa,
Tamara Lopez,
Elizabeth Rivera,
Kiana Davis, Hope Leonard, Jose Alvara,
Jacqueline Marquez,
Sandra Galano, Chloe Shelley Haney, Kayla Janelle Curtis, Andy Rios,
Anastasia Hernandez,
Karina Ramirez, Shauna Wilcox, Adriana Torres Nahera, Supansiri Kotkankit, Gauthar Chawpech,
Peter Young,
Francisco Medina, Kevin Plata,
Rose Diaz Dominguez,
Jesus Ramos,
Christina Esaulenko,
Stephanie Barrera Acevedo, Michaela Garcia, Shushan Kazarian,
Kenneth Cooper,
Gerardo Chavoya, Kamari McWright,
Denise Martinez, Ivan Cardona,
Stacy Zargoza,
Anna Padron, Celeste Martinez, Desiree Alegria, Jesse Estrada, Quanaya Pearson,
Sydney Holloway, Melissa Rodriguez,
Geraldine Ramirez. Ronnie Lord. Natalie Huerta.
Kimberly Maravilla. Lorena Armstrong.
Crystal Gonzalez. Eduardo Juarez Rosales. Devin Clare. Kenneth Giles. Herman Iniguez. Taj Henderson. Precious Trunnell.
Now reading names for the Department of History.
Nicholas Cooper.
Dat Tran. Christopher Pound. Monique McKenna.
Rebecca Howland.
Deanna Nazlikian.
Laura Gazarian. Ashley Frazier.
Nicole Martinez.
Susanna Williford. Yana Butterfield. Jeffrey Christensen.
Allison Pari.
Guillermo Marquez. Eduardo Medrano.
Daniel Alberto.
Lucas Pastis.
Tewa Lascelles.
Wendy Guzman. Kirsten Trimble. Nare Yusefian.
Dolores Alas.
Oscar Rivera. Nanette Barriga.
Jose Valle.
Joseph Seal.
Travis Russell. Jonay James.
Carlos Carrasco. Manuel Galeana. Emily Burton.
Elmer Luna. Tanner De Felicis.
Kristen Fay.
Samir Wafa. Justin Roland Maldonado. Matthew Ruffalo.
Clint Lopati. Andres Sanchez.
Cameron Nasrallah.
O'Shea Rogers.
Michael Anderson.
Ben Jeremy Fernandez. Dylan Noriega.
Kyle Kamen. Garrett Conley.
Miguel Licea. Dakota Harrington.
Anderson Martinez.
Marisol Martinez.
Melissa Schiavo.
Florencia Gomez. Mario Alguin. Pedro Puentes. Arnoldo Tora. Daniel Cobos. Kevin Katz.
Christian Valenzuela.
Maya Seflin. Eduardo Estrada.
Zachary Harless.
Chad Anderson.
Juan Olade Martinez. John Paul Gutierrez. David Kaplan. Freddie Ramirez.
Roberto Padron.
Jacqueline Flores. Benito Luna Herrera.
Ross McFarland.
Cedric Beard. Anthony Menial. Miles Weinhardt. Clyde Ewart. John Eklund.
David Hernandez.
Shivash Yasme. Noah Leshner.
Miguel Fuentes,
Yancy Romero,
Michael Malloy,
Martin Hernandez, Lorena Morales Ontiveros,
Andy Arden, Lionel Herrera,
Erica Pena, Cindy Maymoon,
Christopher Melendez,
Samantha Isabel Ceja, Jessica Juarez,
Matthew Leichter,
Dalton Van Arnhart, Jacob Shockley, Jesus Garcia,
Tomas Parada, Bradley Carr, Elizabeth Quintero, Sung Kim,
John Barry,
Western Richardson,
Alvaro Hermosillo Parra. Now reading names for the Department of Urban Studies and Planning.
Nader Khalil, Tyler Cruz Eaton,
Christian Vargas,
Kanai Womack, Maria Jose Yoko Obi,
Evan Sensibile, Sahar Abaznia, Adrienne Asadurian,
Ashka Dave, Sofia Ramirez, Kalai Han, Yi Zhuanzhu,
Mecca Asia Umazar.
Cynthia Guzman Rodriguez, Claudia Cias,
William Cabrera, Angel Valeriano, Stephanie Escobar, Carly Hollis,
Megan Angel,
Alexander Roberts,
Quetzali Enrique, Adrian Flores,
Beverly Cazada,
Andres Rodriguez,
Ohan Deridian,
Ethan Becker,
Freddie Martinez,
Denmark Valeria,
Michael I. Edenedo.
Shannon Kitover,
Kelly Piccirillo,
Tatsunari Kanawami,
Rio Nagai,
Vincent Balan. Now reading names for the Department of Sociology.
Teresa Cisneros,
Gabriela Morera Rodriguez, Sinai Godinez,
Maraki Alam Saged, Heather Sambal Anderson, Cherry Lai,
Victoria Loy,
Arzu Hildenbrand, Sarah Bruna, John Luis Dell, Miriam Manukian,
Dawn Therese Jobs, Stephanie Flores Temix,
Kimberlyn Acevedo, Yazalin Zavala,
Tiffany Lemos,
Cindy Dela Cruz,
Denise Saldana.
Geraldine Obi. Yvonne Popoka. Norma Meza. Ruby Gonzalez.
Rosela Gonzalez. Brenda Lopez.
Gerardo Becerra.
Stephanie Cruz Hernandez.
Okay.
Beba Solis.
Edward Rial. Tiara Sperlin. Amber Vanegas. Stacy Arias Llerena. Yulisa Avalos.
Jose Cristiano. Noemi Peña Zurita. Manuel Fuentes. Rebecca Isabel Abarca Zometa.
Horia Nuri.
Jose.
Sarah Mejia.
Jose Emmanuel Aguinaldo.
Fabiola Villarreal Luna. Joanna Sarmiento.
Monica Blancarte.
Brett Guarino.
Ariella Shireen.
Kimberly Aguirre. Yasmin Gonzalez.
Karina Franco Caro. Rachel Orban.
Quetzal Meraz.
Jacqueline Delaplane. Fidel Morales. Alondra Carrillo. Mary Jerigian. Maureen Boinagarian. Christine Curre.
Luisa Balayan. Leah Patil Kachichian.
Nina Makartichian.
Jose Cervantes. Matthew Pierce.
Kitty Pong Farnich.
Miriam Son Shenex. Myra Alaman. Gabriela King Singh. Stephanie Leva. Michelle Cruz. Caroline Carranza.
Blanca Gonzalez.
Cindy Caballero. Vanessa Aguirre Flores.
Carla Lopez. Catalina Flores.
Suzanne Vasquez.
Nadia Redoble. Andrea Quijano. Saran Saradizian. Nancy Manarique. Diego Paez.
Emily Chavez.
Stephanie Castaneda.
Osiris Chavez. Viridiana Ramirez.
Denise Bautista. Jasmine Gutierrez.
Jensil Flores.
Marlon Gonzalez. Stephanie Medina Gomez.
Mariana Tutunjian. Nadia Garcia. Daniel Fuentes. Natalie Zapata.
Kelsey Graw.
Elrayan Diaz.
Susana Rodriguez. Daniel Barajas. Susie Kim.
Yvette Torres. Ruby Munoz.
Maite Bustos. Christopher Martinez. Luis Estrada. Edwin Lopez.
Jacqueline de Jesus.
Francisca Priatmo.
Grayson Jitmeta.
Alexandra Antonella Vasquez Chirinos. Carla Castellon. Desiree Ramirez. Cassandra Arujo. Denise Montez.
Jose Gutierrez. Nicole Jones. Neri Rosa Beltran, Rodrigo Toledo,
Nadine Bueno,
Jocelyn Cortez,
Alondra Roldan, Jocelyn Alvarado,
Emma Morales Gonzalez, Monica Guardado, Jessica Valencia, Genesis Palaroso, Kaylee Hollander,
Catherine Grandy,
Lenice Calzada, Brianna Vasquez, Cassandra Amaya,
Crystal Orozco,
Christian Rojas Sanchez, David Gutierrez,
John Medesian,
Vanessa Bertarte,
Vivian Torres,
Patricia Cienfuegos,
Karen Zagovia, Arlene Martinez, Freddie Uolia,
Yadira Lomelli,
Nicolette Vargas, Stephanie Beltran, Myra Diaz, Jennifer Carlos, Monica Kevorkian,
Lizette Maciel Valencia, Paul Rassan, Joseph Black,
Richard Castaneda, Cynthia Rangel Yapiz,
Kenya Regalato, Gerald Tafalo, Anthony Ibarra, Cindy Antillon,
Emily Mejia,
Cameron Taylor Harris,
Matthew Doyle,
Jennifer Rodriguez,
Valeria Gomez, George Rico,
Anthony Gonzalez,
Stephanie Vanegas,
Alejandra Mendoza, Daniela Marquez,
Christina Stewart, Ronald Corbett, Nicole Lillian Tardif,
Vanessa Arbizo, Freddie Castro, Cynthia Hernandez,
Sarahi Lira, Kimberly Duncan Rodriguez,
Miranda Kyle,
Jocelyn Alfaro, Valeria Bojorquez, Luigi Ariano,
Takumi Wada,
Daini Kobayashi,
Eric Sack, Adeline Hernandez,
Jessica Rivera, Maria Munoz, Gloria Angelica Jimenez, Santiago Garcia, Yair Lopez,
Arby Tergastian, Christian Guillen, Zenia Saldana, Isel Rivera,
Arlene Alarbadi,
Shanice Rivers, Danica Lira, Kimberly Ortega, Jessica McLemore, Eliana Nunez,
Claudia Castro, Yesenia Gutierrez,
Tessa Koziol,
Carolina Santos, Nadia Rendon.
Perla Orozco.
Nicole Vasquez. Jacqueline Valiente. Alejandra Alvarez. Olenka Elsa Lu Okerlenka.
Doris Garcia. Nancy Gomez.
Amaris Valerio.
Alfonso Flores.
Zachary Liu. Julio Bamundi.
Nicholas Foster.
Anahit Kashishian. Talene Madatovian. Marne Hakobian.
Narine Sefian. Samantha Zamora. Matthew Ramoy.
Jose Guardado Camacho.
Jennifer Nahera.
Grace Kadure Riongo. Michael Guerra. Syed Hussein.
Henry Vasquez. Irandi Plancart.
Michelle Lee Counts. Marlene Zazuyu. Anaid Romain.
Tania Rivas.
Araceli Pimentel. Jasmine Hermosillo. Cynthia Cruz. Susanna Jovel. Lori Peters. Yongshi Lei. Ricardo Perez.
Sarah Almala.
Hannah Mangum. Sarah Yesenia Martinez.
Jesus Herrera.
Evelyn Flores.
Jacqueline Miller.
Lawona Mackenzie. Neredia Lopez. Jennifer Aldaco. Vanessa Luna. Monica Calderon. Jennifer Castillo. Norma Juarez.
Christy Ramirez.
Albanley Valerio Cruz.
Ruby Valerio Cruz. Uche Omuson.
Kayla Tillman.
Now reading names for the Department of Social Work.
Lakara Nolan.
Catherine Carnahan.
Melissa Lopez Tapia. Mackenzie Dolan. Deanna Dove.
Pamela Castro.
Elsa Martinez.
Maritza Santiago.
Angel L. Garcia.
Valerie Case. Jessica Khalil. Amna Wahid. Elizabeth Nelson.
Lucian Quasi.
Now reading names for the
Karen
Department.
Gill.
Now reading names for the Department of Political Science.
Akshayana Preti.
Luc Lefrancois.
Carl Ramirez.
Zigfredo Ramos Martinez. Rana Shahu.
Priscilla Cynthia Ramos.
David Carter.
Felipe Cabello.
Jasmine Nadir. Milagro Aceituno Arce. William Sloan.
Brian Santos. Gabriel Brizuela.
Emmanuel Clemente Aguilar Cortez.
Esteban Urzua. Sean Boyle.
Daniel Caulfield. Danielle Galloway. Jose Morales Gomez.
Raquel Velasco. Leah Lambert. Amir Abdallah. Luke Bennion.
Terry Hahn. America Kisa.
Stephanie Alfaro. Matthew Yanez. Francisco Preciado.
Travis Hendry. Stephen Janelli.
Richard Nash Nellis. Rita Balikian. Ileana Karabekian.
Patrick Demanian. Hey Arzumanian. Aaron Goldenberg.
Toraya Samea.
Rania Offman.
Scott Devani. David Simonian.
Anil Lazar.
Freddie Davunian.
Edgar Pineda.
Jacqueline Hernandez.
Dylan Brawl.
Sarah Curiel.
Marina Gevorkian.
Tanez Soghansanj. Anthony Marquez Moraga. Raymond Canal.
Christian Amador. Patrick Diaz. Samantha Moreno.
Nicole Andrea Ganal. Diego Andres.
Oscar Robles. Janae Jackson.
Annie Ilingosian.
Stephanie Capuz.
Crystal Lozano.
Priscilla Jane Ramos.
Michael Cohen.
Daniel Dickey. Maria Sanchez.
Linda Rivera.
Patrick Gilham.
Christopher Loera.
Luis Moran. Robert Ortiz.
Ángel Ruiz Moran.
Carla Velasquez Torres. Jeffrey Holmes.
Jocelyn Casante. Saide Matari. Ricky Galbraith. Omar Lopez.
Stephen Estrada. Jacob Schultz.
Chingley Cox.
Savannah Wingo.
Aldo Rivera.
Elizabeth De La Mora. Victoria Levin.
Miriam Sarkeesian. Natalie Dergazurian. Anais Niles.
Ani Sarkisian. Angelina Nguyen.
Christian Barrera. April Corley.
Miguel Garcia Trujillo. Jordan Ehrman. Linda Garcia.
Deborah Garcia. Anahi Garzon Mahia.
Brianna Perez. Jorge Santana.
Zachary Hanks.
Madison Nicole Neal.
Celia Castaneda. Katie Correas.
Gabriel Estrada.
Gabriel Joseph Guillermo.
Karina Licon.
Michelle Benavides.
Gilda Gordado.
Mashari Abuki.
Mary Rivera.
Max Sullivan.
Sean Barclay. Jason Pfeiffer. Mujad Mamagonian.
Aaron Kawasa. Cassie Novi.
Raquel Sarai Getz Tamayo.
Yanni Moreno.
Herbert Paschal.
Lucen Decoranian.
Anna Araxia Petrosian. Renee Asturians.
Sydney D. Domenico. Juan Sebastian Calejos Moreno. Joseph Montoya. Brian Puak.
Edith Jimenez.
Jasmine Zalea.
Sandra Habib. Estefania Oblitas. Rafaela Batista.
Marina Atia. Rocio Duran.
Frank Rizzo Romero.
Nancy Sandoval.
Hetty Chai. Tania Fuentes. Ciedra Akhtar. Ashley Martinez. Linda Pawatna.
Shadi Salib Khoury.
Katia Diaz-Salides. Daria Ali Eshraflo. Richard Solis.
Marky Munoz.
Dalia Bana.
Alejandro Aguilar.
Randy Andrade.
Renee Chino.
Alexis Sanchez. Hector Jimenez III.
Jesse Abundis.
Jessica Bermejo.
Dominic Scagloni.
Christina Marenko. Juliana Campos.
Melissa Veronica Bonilla.
Luis Cueto.
Nathan Hickling. Steve Hernandez.
Jayla Gilchrist. Vanessa Torres. Adukhaya.
Ali Alarada.
Rafi Sofyan.
Alexandra Saktarova.
Dean Barma Bekov. Amir Ferohi. Now reading names for the Department of Public Sector Management. Louisa Karapetian. Man Yi Lau. Jacqueline Lara. Eda Montoya. Cristina Arbayo. Humberto Castro.
Veronica Verde.
Alejandro Casillas. Teresa Garcia.
Noemi Salazar. Maria Banoya.
Adriana Wygotsky.
Julio Carrillo.
Carlos Funes. Darren Kremicki.
Carla Rodas. Janet Andrade.
Anita Reynolds.
Shake Abidjan. Greta Panosian. Beatriz Campos.
Angelica Ramirez.
Vincent Hernandez.
Richard Rodriguez. Manuel Cabrera.
Randy Cornejo. Mildred Luna.
Antonio Barrios.
Rosa Trujillo. Maria Ortega.
Esmeralda Medina.
Romaline Mitra. Norma Sanchez.
Veronica Mendoza. Jose Torres Mayorga. Rafael Mercado. Anthony Montanez.
Menor W. Barrios.
Ricardo Lopez.
Now reading names for the Department of Sociology.
Randy Camacho. Kevin Cortez.
Bache Arabalian. Sarah Dunbar.
Linda La Rosa. Brenda Esperanza Aguilar. Estefany Leticia Amaya. Nancy Mojica. Abigail Diaz Zangano.
Karen Guzman. Ingrid Hernandez. Janet Barajas. Josue de la Cruz.
Michaela Villegas.
Erin Langfield.
Jasmine Booker. David Morales.
Fabiola Brown.
Jamie Gutstein.
Natalie Moynester.
Sophia Franco. Camille Brown.
Sarah Sheridan. Norman Dossel.
Alexis Godinez.
Sarah Gosa.
Sandra Gilgadillo. Autumn Lauderdale Mora. Barbara Woodford. Ana Yepes.
Melissa Lagunas. Melissa Munoz Fernandez. Hazel Maron. Maria Buzhanov. Georgina Castaneda. Haley Rockefeller. Leslie Rosas, Hector Mendez, Luis Garcia, Noemi Baradas, Lisbeth Romero,
Joseph Aparicio, Jeremy Andrew Bahena, Liana Ramos, Sandra Yolanda Morena,
Jennifer Molina,
Savannah Florido,
Cesar Canegas Hernandez,
Victoria Murguia,
Catherine Estacio, Jessica Lopez,
Gaida Tarek Mohammed Rabi M. Ahmed,
Andrea Guzman, Moon Lee,
Eduardo Espinoza, Kimberly Newton,
Maria Bernabe,
Janet Salazar,
Sonia Castillo, Manuel Escoto,
Gabriela Donis, Desiree Cazares, Rebecca Marquez,
Ixel Aquino,
Kelly Bravo Cuevas,
Lourdes Lopez Martinez,
Ani Tenoyan, Vanessa Rosales,
Crystal Arevalo, Stephanie Cortez,
Leora Satare, Jamie Lopez,
Alika Sack,
Mary Flores Medina,
Sabrina Sarabia, Giovanna Mora,
Dominic DiMattaga Fernandez, Jennifer Eccles,
Sarah Gailey,
Justine Jones, Christopher Yu,
Samantha Lopez, Nancy Osorio, Maria Santiago, Charity Jones, Giselle Perez, Izura Brown, Khan Pham, Vanessa Quezada, Rafael Crespo,
Vanessa Romo,
Cheyenne Mummy,
Irma Sarek,
Justin Amuna, Angel Camarillo Rivera,
Alejandra Arzola,
Jessica Avalos Nolasco,
Pantea Azizi, Daniel Hernandez,
Joaquina Wani, Patricia Velasquez, Cheyenne Bledsoe,
Derek Gomez,
Kimberly Enriquez, Sarah Valdez, Genesis Manrique, Alyssa Anzua,
Chris Ortega,
Jorge Marcia,
Cassandra Gutierrez,
Giselle Cabrera Castaneda, Jessica Rico,
Michelle Soto, Alejandra Cabrera, Brenda Giron, Anaelia Giaxola,
Amy Martinez. Guadalupe Becerra. Stephanie Santana Garcia.
Marcos Chavez, Rocio Rivera Murillo, Mia Silva, Paola Tapia,
Desiree Gonzalez. Guadalupe Granados.
Alejandra Morataya,
Oscar Vargas. Billy Kim.
Melissa Garcia, Gabriela Arias, Caitlin Choi,
Carla Manuel Gomez.
Marbella Martinez, Yulisa Mateo, Gabrielle Ibarra, Luzmia Gomez,
Kimberly Centeno. Doreda Jimenez.
Arpa Eslegolian,
Sylvia Monji.
Panchia Watanator,
Jeremy Alexander. Alexander Araya. Amalia Castaneda. Jessica Escobar.
Vicente Escamilla,
Brenda Quinones. Patricia Diaz.
Sandy Figueroa Loera, Emily Asensio, Ashlyn D'Aro,
Alexis Arroyo.
Renee Diaz, Lizette Aline Chacon,
Amy Ordonez. Megan Evans.
Sharon and Joy Perez,
Jackie Neron. Denise Amates. Michelle Sanchez. Stephanie Villegas. Irina Ishibashi.
Ariela Marabi, Cynthia Vasquez, Crystal Aguirre, Monica Robles,
Miranda Arnold. Kimberly Alvarado. Sharon Melgar. Lucine Manokian. Robert Watherspoon Jr. Jonathan Choi.
Hector Juarez, Joshua Aquino,
Raul Reyes.
Cassidy Reeder, Nairi Maradosian,
Maria Juarez. Nancy Perez. Elena Flores.
Montserrat Gonzalez Garcia,
Nayeli Martinez. Selena Salazar. Bianca Rojas.
Jan Cyril Venegas,
Anthony Leva. Pashtana Azizi.
Manakshi Sawani,
Crystal Justice Dantop.
Crystal Tavares, Pedro Ramirez,
Jose Andres Segura. Matten Edry.
Elizabeth Karim,
Samantha Moon Riti Rojas.
Sonia Torres, Isadora Garcia. Ivan Morejon.
Juliana Reyes. Dominic Paul Marcin. Laura Bonilla Torres.
Rocio Mendez. Jessica Lemus.
Anne Marie Vasquez. Nievas Nava Perez.
Alma Anguiano. Christine Artunian.
Devin Vexler Booth.
Annette Achimikrian.
Savannah Ambarchian.
Valerie Torres. Jesus Macias. Anna Tatishvili. Danielle Savoni. Christian Enriquez Martinez. Gabriel Carmona.
David Marin.
Abril Alvarez.
Corin Vasquez. Cynthia Gonzalez. Jacqueline Matu. Manuel Seha. Maurice Vines. Javon Shields.
Hila Khalili. Jocelyn Contreras. Karen Gomez. Paulina Buenrostro. Lizette Ruedas. Miholani Ochoa.
Afsani Puragabagar.
Tatovik Yepiskopoussian.
Talim Babayan.
Zarina Demarchian.
Brittany Townsend.
Lilith Hakobian. Amalia Gevorkian.
Leonid Akazian.
Arpine Movsesian.
Kristen Mahir Perez.
Lauren Richmond. Rebecca Gutierrez.
Mrs. Jackie Eckberg will now officially welcome you into the California State University Northridge Alumni Association.
On behalf of the CSUN Alumni Association and its nearly 360,000 matadors, it is my pleasure to be the first to formally welcome you as alumni of our great university. Now, each one of you may add the title of alumnus or alumna to your name. We are honored to join with you to celebrate your achievement. Today marks the beginning of an enduring relationship with CSUN. We encourage you to stay connected as you realize your dreams and aspirations. In fact, you will find many matadors out there, like myself, who are ready and willing to help you achieve your dreams, and in turn, Someday we hope that you will aid the next generation to follow in your path. Congratulations and welcome to your CSUN, now called CSUN, alumni family.
Thank you, Mrs. Eckberg. I now ask that all of the baccalaureate degree recipients please rise. In academic tradition, the student who has not yet earned a degree wears the tassel to the right of the mortarboard. When the degree is conferred, the scholar moves the tassel to the left and joins a select company of highly educated men and women. In recognition of your new status, I ask that all recipients of the baccalaureate degree move the tassel to the left. And now will all of our graduates please rise? Masters and baccalaureate, please rise. Now we ask that you go out into the world, accomplish great things, and please keep in touch. Come back and tell us about them. Help the students who come after you understand and appreciate the importance that they can make in the world. To officially close the ceremony, I ask that faculty, staff, and CSUN alumni now rise for our university alma mater, Hail to the Matadors, under the musical direction of Scott Whitfield and the Jazz A Band, and sung by Merced Stratton. The alma mater is located in the back of your commencement program, should you need to follow along, although I'm confident most of you know all of the words. After the alma mater has concluded, please remain at your seats until the platform party and guests and faculty have recessed. We ask that all parents and guests please remain seated until the end of this recessional. Again, thank you, congratulations, and once a matador, always a matador.